All right, guys, we have stuff from Recoil. Let's check that out. All right, let's get it cut open. If y'all hear any strange voices, ask my buddy Jerry. He's over here with me today, hanging out, doing stuff. And, oh man. So this was Amazon fulfillment, I believe. Yeah, Amazon fulfillment. Let's see if we can get this sucker out of here. Get them out, we'll put them on the amplifier. They're going to be amplified before they're even hooked up. Here, Jerry, you can have that. Set that off to the side for now. So we got 2 sets of these Recoil audio 6.5s. The packaging looks pretty good all the way around. So far, I'm impressed. Let's get this other one unwrapified. Get that out of the way. Yep. I knew you was good for something. Mm-hmm. All right. Yeah. We have first a manual, and I know it's not the interesting part, but I'm definitely going to be going through this because I am totally into speaker specs. So I'll be going through that with a fine-tooth comb. Again, check these guys out. This is a Pro Audio driver. One of my first tests is how flimsy is the cone. For Pro Audio, that's pretty stiff. Pro Audio tends to have a really thin cone. This one's actually got some weight to it. This dust cap is a dust cap. This is not a pole piece like you might think it would be. This is a dust cap, so it moves with the driver. And of course it has the tabs, which I already knew that, and it is a 4-ohm speaker. So what else comes in the box? Probably not a whole lot. We got some hardware. Got the little clippies and the screws for both drivers, and I do believe that is everything. So we got 4 of these guys to put in, and we're going to see what they sound like. So let's get started with that. I'd like to welcome you guys to introduce you guys to Jerry the cameraman, who is on the other side of the camera. But we are doing some gap sealing and some rudimentary sound deadening. Now I'm using this stuff. This is not sound deadener. It's like I don't know, flashing sealer stuff. It's butyl. It's not ideal, but I'm using this to come in behind my pod here and to seal it to the edge of the door card. Just going to go all the way around the inside of this. Now, should you use this? Not really, because it can, in theory, melt in the summer when it's really hot. But in this case, if it melts and goes somewhere, I'm not worried about it. Also, I don't have a sense of smell at all anymore, so any kind of odor that comes from it won't bother me at all. But it does exist and it can be used. And yes, it does deaden sound, but the main thing I'm going after is sealing this up on the door. Now what I'm doing is coming in here, I'm letting it overhang in this a little bit, and then I'm wrapping it around where the door and the pod connect. And so this piece here is not ideal, and I'm going up on top. And then making sure I've got it smushed in real good. Now I put some, I used some type of stuff in a build before, and I did the whole interior of the doors, the door cards, both pieces of metal. I had a ton of this stuff in there. Frost King or something like that. And everyone said it would do all sorts of bad things. And back then I had a sense of smell. It never did any of those things. It worked perfectly. So I'm not really sure what the problem other folks is having with it is, but it's worked for me. The reason I'm sealing this up really good is whenever you have air escape from the back of a woofer, especially anything that's playing fairly low frequencies, it cancels out the bass, because the back wave is the opposite frequency to the front wave. And whenever you do that, it's like playing two subwoofers out of phase. It completely kills the bass. So by doing this, sealing this up, I'm preventing a lot of that from happening. Now, can it still escape around in the middle of the holes here and there? Yes. The world is not perfect. So we just do what we can, work with what we got. This is what I got, so this is what I'm doing. Almost done with this side. But although I've never had a problem out of using this stuff, I still don't recommend it for anybody else, because other people have had problems. You know, I've heard people talk about it all the time. They may just be parroting something they've heard someone say. I don't know. But myself, I haven't had an issue. Got one little piece to go. I will say this though. This stuff is very permanent. It is extremely difficult to get off. Once it's been applied and got hot and cold a few times, or even just applied, it's very, very, very sticky and impossible to remove. So if you're gonna incorporate this in a build, just know that it's there to stay. Or no take back. I'm also gonna cover with sound deadener and a little bit of this. I'm gonna cover both of these holes in here where the old speaker went, so that this chamber is a sealed up chamber. It's not going to be any subs in here, but still having it airtight, or having it mostly airtight, is going to be beneficial. All right, so in addition to that foil stuff, I'm also adding some boom mat to create a nice false back here and really get a good seal back there with a heavy material that won't have any give to it. And this is pricey stuff, but it works really good. It's thick, dense, hard to work with, but let me see here. Get it over there, all the way over there as much as I can. There we go. That's pretty dang close. So I've covered up the whole hole with the boom mat, and I got a good seal all the way around. I've also got a good seal around this where it connects to the door. Everything is deadened and pretty much airtight. Just got to rinse and repeat on the other side. So I had to put me some new blade connectors on here. And what I'm doing is going around here and making sure they got a tight crimp, so that we don't have any strays running off. I'm just doing a little bit of a pre-crimp, and you got to be careful. You don't want to get too crazy with it, because you won't be able to get the blade in there. but getting a little bit of a snug in her is a good thing. Triple checking polarity. So I got positive over here. This is my positive. Negative on the other side. That's not tight enough. I need to make that one tighter. Oh, these can be a bit of a bird dog to hold the driver and screw it at the same time. I've done a bunch of them, so. So what do I think about it? Wow. Yeah. So I got them crossed over at 100 hertz with a 24 dB roll off on a Linkwitz-Riley slope, and 750 hertz at the top, 24 dB Linkwitz-Riley. And they are honey at that area. Holy crap, guys. They are a super warm. Like, I'm just kind of floored with how warm and unfatiguing these little drivers are. Holy crap, dude. They're like $35 a pair. I got like $70 in all four of them. And they really, really produce good sound. And they're extremely efficient. I've got right now I've got 150 watts per channel. Yeah, 150 watts per channel, access to that much power, and that's not much, right? And I've got the gain turned at just under halfway up. The gain on this amp can run just a tiny bit below full gain and without clipping. It's like you go to full gain and back it off just the tiniest bit and it's not clipping. And I'm running at half power. So I'm producing about 75 watts per door, which means about 35 watts a driver. And man, they're doing they're seamless. What's crazy is you don't hear them. What I mean is by that is they're there and they're doing their job. They're making the sound, but you don't hear them. You hear the music. And that's cool. When you get attuned to the point to where you're no longer hearing the speakers, but you're now hearing the music and you don't really differentiate where it's coming from, it's just awesome. That's when you know you're getting really close to a perfect tune in your car. Anyway, these guys blend in so good. They're great. If you want some inexpensive, very efficient, very smooth, very warm mid-range drivers, these little dudes will absolutely fill that bill with very little power input into them. You know, they're nice. They're really nice, guys. Peace.